I started this year with 162 subscribers. I'm ending it with over 600. What the hell? I've had this channel for just a bit over 7 years, but haven't really taken it seriously at all. I uploaded maybe a handful of videos every 8 months or so, tiny little shitposts I made in Windows Movie Maker when I was 12. However, over time, these videos became more and more serious until eventually I started writing full-on video essays, which are thankfully all now unlisted. No, I won't make them public again, don't ask. At the time, I was beginning to take YouTube more seriously. Meanwhile, I was also starting to get seriously into this little sci-fi franchise called Warhammer 40k, my favorite faction being the Salamander Space Marine chapter. When I started to take YouTube seriously, I took up the name Salamander in respect of this. My first video under this new moniker was published in March of 2019, and afterwards I began regularly uploading game reviews and video essays to YouTube. All that is to say, after about 6 months of doing this, I was seeing minimal success and was in pretty low spirits. I made a video covering BlizzCon 2019 and the Shadowlands story teaser and why I personally really disliked it, and then quietly left YouTube for over half a year. I felt discouraged and just sort of stopped making videos for a while. Instead, focused on writing fiction over on Sally's Forge. Moving into 2020, I wasn't making videos, and also the world was ending. Everybody was stuck inside, and naturally that put a hamper on my ability to enjoy what had become, at that point, my favorite hobby of all time, Warhammer 40k. However, I found a myriad of ways to take part in the hobby while also in quarantine, and decided to make a video about it. For the sake of fairness, I also wanted to get a British perspective on the issue, but didn't know where to turn. I wasn't friends with many British people at the time, and those friends I did have didn't play Warhammer. So I decided to go out on a limb and email one of my favorite Warhammer YouTubers, the duo of Snipe and Wib. And I cannot stress this enough, this one decision to try and collaborate with one of my biggest YouTube inspirations is easily one of the most important decisions I've made this year, and were YouTube ever to become a popular enough venture for me to make it a full-time career, potentially the single most important decision of my life. They shared the video on their respective social medias, and it got over 1,000 views in 24 hours, and my sub count more than doubled, going to over 300 in just that single day. The real MVP of this year is Snipe and Wib for being great people, and it's still so surreal that these creators I used to look up to are now like my friends? I hope it's not overly presumptuous for me to say that. But that would not be the highlight of the year for my channel. No. That, admittedly sordid honor, would go to Warhammer's Nazi Problem. Not only the largest video I put out this year, but the largest video on my channel, period. And the thing largely responsible for me gaining a reputation among certain subsets of the 40k fandom. It's a video I still think is really good, but one I wish I spent more time on. At the time, I was intentionally writing my videos to be less nuanced, but in such a way to where people who already agreed with my stance could very easily read more nuance into it, in an effort to make my videos more combative and attention-grabbing. And it worked! I basically made this video as a call to action from what I saw as the silent majority of progressive 40k fans to start doing more to combat this side of the fandom. And it had the result I wanted it to. I legit had 1 or 2 people who are pretty prominent within the community come to me and tell me that they were inspired by my video to make their content have more explicitly anti-reactionary aspects to it. I saw Matt Ward on Twitter like the tweet that Wib made sharing the video on his Twitter, and that just kind of blew my mind. It really, I think, made some kind of a splash in the community and got even more views in those first 24 hours than the coronavirus video did. And then this guy named like Ace1918 or something made a video responding to my video, misgendering me and calling me an authoritarian and like suckling on Arch's cock. Seriously, I looked at his channel and he legitimately has a video where he compares Arch, as in Arch Warhammer, to Jesus fucking Christ. The thumbnail even has that one painting of Christ carrying the crucifix, but with Arch's face layered on top of Jesus' head. And it's just, oh my god. Literally simping so hard you end up comparing a lore YouTuber to an actual god. But that aside, basically this dude made a response video to my video, and then Arch saw it, and he shared the response video around, and the response video had a link to my video in it. So both that video and all of my social medias were then brigaded by a small army of alt-right weirdos who apparently have nothing better to do with their time than harass a trans girl and try to log into all of her different accounts. Seriously, within about 72 hours, I got alerts from Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, and even fucking PayPal that two-factor authentication had locked my accounts from people from all across the world trying to get access to them. But you know the funny thing? My sub count actually grew faster during the brigade effort than when my entire internet life wasn't being brigaded. Go ahead, dislike this video. YouTube doesn't care what type of engagement a video gets so long as it is engagement. And that means that a ton of people who supported and agreed with my position saw that video. So thanks, Ace1918, you inadvertently sent a tidal wave of harassment after me, but also accidentally made my sub count nearly double in under 24 hours. Not only was Warhammer's Nazi problem my breakout success from this year in terms of viewership and subscriber count, it was also my most popular video this year, period. I ran a poll on Twitter asking people, out of the 4 video essays about Warhammer 40k I released this year, which one was their favorite. And Warhammer's Nazi problem won the vote by an incredibly large margin, like 8 points. And after this, the year was pretty standard, I guess. I was uploading video essays and making scripts and having fun interacting with you all on Twitter. This was easily one of the best years of my life, even as it was also one of the worst years of my life. If Tonal Whiplash had a favorite year, it'd be 2020. For all those who were with me throughout this incredibly turbulent year, thank you. I know it was hard, but hey, it's New Year's Eve. Let's crack open some eggnog and watch the ball drop. A special thank you to Azrael Prime, Jamie Harris, Paul Camagliano, Randon Pearson, Serena J. Fleming, and Shopping Cart, my $1 patrons. And a super special thank you to Lucifer King, my $15 patron. If you would like to be on this list, if you would like to appear at the end of these videos and have your name read aloud, you can go down to the description and pledge a minimum of $1 to my Patreon. And you also get more benefits than that, like, being able to join my private Discord server, where I'm decently active. So if you want to talk to me or get to know me better, that's the best way to do it.